Now I'm going to talk about a specific subject. Some of you might not think it's a big deal, and some of you do. So I'm just going to go ahead and approach it. This is in regards to relationships. Make sure you try to take the time to understand the intention of the other person. And that means not just saying hello one day and the very next day within 24 hours you're having a sexual encounter. No, that's wrong. No. If you're looking for a relationship and to have that steady someone for whatever period of time, take the time to get to know their intentions. I've already said before, you need to have a dialogue. But on top of having a dialogue, you also need to watch for behaviors that support their position. Let me give you a case in point. This is just one of the scenarios that I've dealt with before, and some of you have come across it, male or female. Let's say the two of you have been conversing for a long time, and you finally decide to have your first outdoor date. You had that went well. Done quite a few dates like that, done different things together to kind of feel each other out. Everything's sounding wonderful with this person. Their intentions are great. They're looking for that special someone and everything. Then the time comes where they invite you over to their place. And I mentioned before in an audio when I was addressing the men about how you finally go to her place and it's a mess. And, she deceived you about cooking dinner. She actually ordered takeout. It may not seem a big deal to some people. But for most women, and women like me who like to keep a reasonably decent house, you want to be in the presence of cleanliness. And I know this doesn't seem like a big issue, but just follow me on this. Sometimes the way people live reflects their personality. I'm not saying that it's not okay to be messy from time to time. We get overwhelmed, we get busy, we might be medically incapacitated, where we kind of let things go in the household from time to time. But that's due to temporary situations. But if a person has a messy home all of the time, and there's really no justified reason for it, that's a bit of an indication of what kind of life they live. I remember the old folks saying, if you want to find out what a person's like, go to their house. If you want to find out what kind of woman that you want to be involved with, taste of cooking. It's basically some of the habits that they have, daily simple habits that they have. If they're just a little bit extreme in one way or the other, you might be dealing with an imbalanced person. I don't know how many times I'm going to share this with you and I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to keep it short. I remember there were quite a few times that I'll be conversing with a gentleman. We're trying to get to know each other, been out on a few dates and everything, and he finally invites me over to his place. And as soon as I walk in the door, it's just a pigsty. And I said to myself, something doesn't match. Can't find things, possible infestation of bugs or rodents. And they're inviting me to their place. First of all, if you made a date, whether you're male or female, to have somebody come over and spend the night with you, the least you could do is make sure that your home is presentable to them. They are a visitor. First impressions speak loads. I look at it like this. If a person doesn't take the time to at least tidy up and clean up the place for you to come, they're not that serious about you. They're not. And, they may have what is called an organized mess. It's organized to them, but if it's to the point where you have to move stuff around just to make yourself comfortable on the sofa, or they have to use paper plates because all the dishes have been used up, just downright dirty, they'll turn around and say it's an organized mess when in actuality it's just a mess. I can understand if you have a shop and you got shop stuff all over the place, but not to the point where you can't see the floor. Not to the point where you hear strange noises underneath the debris. I turn tail and run. But if that person is really anticipating having you part of their life and they really want to make sure that they are presentable towards you and respect you enough to do that, you made a date for Friday, it's Tuesday. Your place is a mess. You can't clean up a little bit each day before he or she comes over just so they can feel comfortable in your home. Then you don't care about what they think. Ergo, you don't want them for them. You want them for what they can give you. And plenty of times I went to a gentleman, that'd be the last time I've been to his house. Shortly after that, I kind of distanced myself from him. And he's wondering why. And I couldn't come straight out and say, you keep a messy house. Because a lot of people don't think it's a big deal. But it is when you're trying to make a first impression, people. It is when you're trying to make a first impression. If you've been gunning for this person for a long period of time, the average person wants to put their best foot forward. And you invite somebody into your home and you've been pursuing them for 6 months, a year, or whatever the case may be, you're going to take time. You're going to knock yourself out to make sure that place is perfect. I know it's not perfect all the time, but it's just the fact that you took the conscious effort to present something nice to this person shows that you care about what they think about you. That's what I'm trying to say. And if they haven't taken the time to care about what you think about them, then they don't care what you think. All they care about is what they can get from you. Keep your house clean, spiritually and otherwise, so you can be ready. But it's just the intention behind the whole thing. So gentlemen, ladies, if you have someone who is spot on, picture perfect every time they go outside the door, and the minute you go to their place, it's messy, don't match. Something's off. And all they do is give you a bunch of excuses as to why it's not a mess. Why it's not clean. They didn't take the time to try to clean. And you had more than advance notice. You made this date a few days ago. You made it last week. You made it the week before. You're not worth them taking the time to clean their home for you. I know it sounds blunt. It sounds mean. I'm sorry. It's the effort behind the whole thing.